In color, the continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Ryan O'Neal as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliott Carson, Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington, Patricia Morrow as Rita Harrington, James Douglas as Stephen Cord.
Since Allison Mackenzie disappeared, there has been no clue. The police investigation has been reduced to routine. But in the mind of Allison's father, Elliott Carson, every day that passes without a trace of her builds a private agony.
I can't let you talk to my client. I just can't.
Okay, but you can talk to your client on my behalf. I mean, you can talk to him frankly, talk to him as his attorney. Maybe you can get him to talk to you.
Turn him around, twist him around, pull it out of him, then pass on whatever he says to you.
Well, that's one way of putting it, yeah.
You're asking me to handle my own client.
I'm asking you, Steve, as a human being, to find out if your client can remember anything else about his last conversation with Allison. I mean, something just might come to mind.
I'm the man's attorney. I'm representing him.
You're protecting him.
Of course.
Look, you know Allison. Your wife knows Allison. Surely you think enough of her to help me.
You may not believe this now, but I'm very fond of your daughter, and I'm very upset by what happened. But I will not compromise Lee Weber. For Allison, for you, for anybody.
Well, thanks for the lift back. I'm sorry it turned out to be such a bust.
That's all right. At least we found out a little about her. You know, I'm thinking of heading back there.
Now?
Yeah. You know, Rachel was known all over that farming country, and I can't help thinking that maybe they knew Allison, too. I thought if I'd just hang around.
That wouldn't work. They'd liable to sick the dogs on you this time. Look at it this way, Rod. We're outsiders. And those people out in the valley, well, they wouldn't talk to us unless they knew our families for 200 or 300 years. We've done everything we can now.
I guess you're right.
Look, why don't you come on in for a few minutes? Mr. Carson usually has some cold pop in the icebox. Okay. Hey, we have elves. I don't know, Mr. Carson's on a cleanup campaign.
Maybe he's trying to tell you something.
Yeah. You know, those people out in that valley, they're really out of it. What do you think of that Jefferson character?
Was that Chalmers foreman?
Yeah.
I don't know, he's a little hard to tell.
All that baloney he told us about how Rachel acted toward her aunt when she was sick and everything. Well, she's been nothing but trouble since the day she got here. And all her aunt did for her, well, why, if it wasn't for Miss Lucy, she wouldn't have a roof over her head.
What makes you think it was baloney?
Because I think he was a creep.
But you know something, Norman, it wasn't just Jefferson. There weren't many of Rachel's friends that had kind words for her.
What do you think our neighbors would have to say about us? Anyway, the one they put down was Chandler. Now, why would Weirdo board up his house when he's going away for a couple of days? Maybe he's got a hidden body in the cellar.
It was Rachel who ran away.
Maybe you would, too. Anyway, we'll find out in a couple of days.
What did that old man say? He'd be back, when? A couple of days?
Mm-hmm. Hey, we have elves. Rachel. Rachel?
Oh, no. What'd you do, break in? Hold it.
Let me go.
Oh, not this time. Now, you're gonna tell me what you know about Allison, and you're gonna do it right now.
Let go.
Look at me, Rachel. Now, I just spent a miserable morning going through that valley of yours trying to get answers to questions. I didn't get them. Now, you're gonna tell me what you know about Allison. Whether you want to or not, you're going to tell me what you know about Allison.
I don't know anything about her.
I'd like to believe you, but I don't.
No.
Rachel, there's a girl missing.
I don't know her.
You had her bracelet.
I found it.
Rod, lay off.
No.
She's scared.
So am I. About Allison. Why are you so scared? Rachel, nobody wants to hurt you. All we do is want to know about Allison. Now, you know something. And whatever it is, it's frightening you a lot. Please, come on. Tell us. All right, now, come on.
Let go. Let me go.
Hey, what's going on here? Right here. Stop that. Come on. Right.
Now, here she is. Oh. The girl you're supposed to be looking for.
The one from the hospital?
Right. Take her, will you?
Out.
Rachel, you stop.
Run her now. Listen, let her go.
Mr.
Take it easy.
Carson.
No one's gonna hurt you.
Then let her go.
I wish I could.
It's all right. It's all right,
Mr.
Rachel.
Carson, no, let
It's all right.
Now, easy. See?
Now you've got this hardened criminal. What are you going to do with her?
We're going to ask her some questions about Allison. We're going to find out what she knows.
I don't know anything.
One at a time, huh? Are you a minor?
She doesn't know, and I couldn't find any record on it.
Well, that's going to complicate things.
Why?
But we haven't the facilities for this kind of thing.
Then let me take her for now. I'll be responsible.
No, I can't do that.
Now, what are you going to do?
Nothing. Not until I talk to Mr. Fowler. That's his department. Besides, we have to have a judge's signature to transfer her to the juvenile authority in White River.
What, just to question her?
That's his department, too.
Where is she going to stay until then?
We'll have to find room for her.
She's no criminal.
And this is no hotel. I understand the way you feel, Mr. Carson, but she's here and we're stuck with her.
Well, maybe Fowler will get some answers.
Unless... Hello? Mr. Jefferson? Yes. This is Sergeant Goddard again.
What did you have to go and do that for?
Any word on Mr. Chandler yet?
I promised her that I'd help her,
Well, would you
Yeah,
tell
and I
him
promised
that,
myself
we're
I'd do what
holding
I
his
could to
niece down
find
at the police
Allison.
station?
even to locking up a poor, frightened little girl.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jefferson. Well, everything's going to be all right, Rachel. Your uncle will be here in a couple of days, so we won't have to send you to... Rachel! Rachel! Come back here!
Hey, beautiful. You wait till I slip away from this guy and I'll go with you. Let go of him. Oh, you can't have them all, golden boy.
Put her in my office and get him out of here.
Say hello to Sandy for me.
I hope you are satisfied with your day's work.
Doctor's hospital? I'd like to speak to Dr. Rossi, please.
I'll try and locate him. Hold, please.
Yes, ma'am. Would you hurry, please?
Well, I finally caught up with you.
Oh, hi, Dad.
You're more difficult to see than the bank president.
How long will it be, miss?
Can't that wait, Norman? Why don't you call back whoever you're calling? I have something I want to talk to you about.
Dad, this is important.
More important than your future, your finances?
Not now.
I've arranged for a loan for you, Norman. I'm going to see you through college.
Hold, please.
Yes, ma'am. I'll hang on. You're going to do what?
After all, I am your father, and all this chasing back and forth between classes, making deliveries, it's not necessary.
It's ridiculous.
Well, I didn't say that.
Well, you wanted to.
All right, it is ridiculous.
Well, let's face it, Dad. You have a ridiculous son. How can he make a simple phone call?
I didn't come here to joke, Norman. I've arranged to borrow some money. I want to help you.
Okay, Dad, but would you let me finish this phone call first, please?
All right, Norman, I can see I've wasted my time, as usual.
Save your money. I'm a very bad investment, Dad.
I've come to the same conclusion.
I'm trying to locate Dr. Rossi.
Look, miss. Yeah, you told me to hold the line. I've been holding it so long, I'm getting a cramp in my arm. How long does it take to trace down a doctor?
I'm sorry, sir. I can't locate Dr. Rossi.
Forget it.
Can he call you back?
No, tell Dr. Rossi that Rachel Wells has been found. She's in the police station.
Thank you.
Police station? What you doing there?
Rod made a citizen's arrest.
He what?
Yeah. He got upset, and he grabbed Rachel and dragged her off the police station.
Norm, you're kidding me, aren't you? You saw me coming. I bet Rachel's hiding in the storeroom, and you probably put her up to it, didn't you? Rachel! You can come out now. It's just me, Rita. Okay, she's not in the storeroom. What got into Rod?
Frustration, I guess. He had to take it out on someone. First, he took it out on me, and he kept grumbling all day because we didn't find anything out from those farmers.
You mean you went all the way to Hastings Valley and you didn't find anything out?
Yep.
I knew I should have gone with you.
Well, we talked to the handyman at the Chandler place, but he didn't like little Rachel too much. He said she was nothing but trouble, and she was ungrateful. He was all for Chandler, though. Maybe you don't understand. Chandler is Rachel's...
Uncle.
Yeah. Well, when'd you find out?
This morning. Mr. Carson found Rachel hiding in the bandstand. He brought her in here, and I gave her some breakfast, and we got her to talk a little bit.
Well, you did better than Rod and I. Well, I guess it's the way we approach things. You know, I don't know whether to feel sorry for her or try and beat her up or what. She's kind of strange.
She's just scared. She doesn't want to get sent back to Chandler. That's why she ran away from the hospital. Some neighbor lady told Dr. Rossi where she came from.
Well, she was sure scared because we found her hiding in the storeroom. She fought her way out of here like a wildcat.
Norm, what kind of man must he be? If Rachel's so afraid of him, I mean.
I don't know. But what kind of man would board up his windows when he's only going away for a couple of days? Yeah, Rod and I trying to look in the windows, and they were boarded up.
I wonder what we can do to help her.
What do you suggest? That we invite her over to the apartment for the weekend?
Now, that's a good idea. Why didn't I think of it?
Rita, I was just kidding.
Look, here's the lunch I smuggled in for Rachel. It's a peanut butter sandwich and a malt.
We can't. Rachel's not our problem.
Look, we'll go to the police station on my next break, okay?
No. And I mean no.
Bye.
Rita! Look, we don't have anything to do with her!
Hey, Betty. Oh, hello, Sandy. You look real sharp. What is that, one of those new synthetics?
Oh, it's a blend.
Ah, some slob. The cider barrel spattered ketchup all over me. I'm a mess.
Try cold water.
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing in our part of town? Slumming?
I'm, admiring the quaint atmosphere. Oh, come on, Sandy. This is my town, too, remember? I'm shopping.
Oh, you're gonna have one of those fancy dinner parties like they show in all the magazines?
Well, I'm giving a dinner party. I don't know how fancy it's going to be.
Well, I've got to hand it to you. You sure are at home with all that kind of thing. I told Rod the other night when I was up at the PEYTON house that I felt like I was in some kind of a museum.
You did?
Yes, he just laughed at me and said it's just like any other house, except it's hotter in the summertime and colder in the winter. But I guess that didn't bother you when you were living there.
What are you trying to say, Sandy? That you're involved with Rod now? Is that your point?
Well, I wouldn't put it that way.
Oh, yes, you would to someone else. Now, you want me to know about Rod and you? Well, I already know. I saw you riding around with him the other night.
Well, what's wrong with him driving me out?
Nothing. Nothing as long as your husband approves. Now, you are still married, aren't you? Tommy. These will keep overnight, won't they?
Well, it'd be better if you cook them first. Then you could stick them under the broiler for a few minutes.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm still married. The same as you were when you went to visit Rod in the garage.
Look, Sandy, I've got a lot to do this afternoon before I meet my husband. So if you'll just excuse me, please.
Well, as they say in France, bon appetit.